Hi, welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a Slice of Life. I'm Angus, and today I will be reacting to all songs competing in Vidbir, Ukraine's national final for Eurovision 2025. Vidbir, which means selection in Ukrainian, is the name most of us know Ukraine's national final as. This year, 10 songs will be competing to represent Ukraine at Eurovision in Basel. 9 songs are brand new, but one of the tracks, Fiїnka's Kultura, was selected through public wildcard round. I have heard that song already back when it came out, but I'll be re-listening to it, see how it holds up against these other songs, and honestly, there's so much national final stuff happening, I'm not even sure I fully remember what it goes like. That being said, people who will definitely be remembering it are the Vidbir jury, which once again was selected through public online vote. That jury will consist of Eurovision winner Jamala, Eurovision contestant and absolute queen Katerina Pavlenko, and musician Sheryf. I hope I said that correctly. He's returning as a jury member, having also been one last year. In this video, I will be reacting as said to all 10 songs, so let's stop this yapping and start reacting. And where better to start than with the beginning? We're going to go in what is the published running order, and the first song is Vlad Sheryf. He will be opening Vidbir this year with Wind of Change. Most of the info that I will be giving you about these songs, about the artist, is just translated versions of what the official Eurovision Ukraine YouTube channel put in the video descriptions. But I do think some of this will be quite informative. Vlad Sheryf, competed on the Ukrainian edition of The Voice twice. The second time around, in the 13th season, he made it all the way to the semi-finals. He also has Eurovision experience, as he was one of the backing vocalists for Jerry Heil and Alyona at Eurovision 2024. That's quite something to live up to, so let's see what his own music brings to the table. Will this remain a little piano ballad, or because this feels like we'll be going somewhere towards the end? He definitely has a nice voice, as we should expect, I think. There are the drums, there we go. I will say, he goes a little high-pitched for me, but I can imagine this being a real good moment live. Just in the studio version, it's not quite hitting for me. I love those moments where his voice gets a little growly, like, that's where I really am seeing the promise of him as an artist and of this song in particular as well. Some of these lyrics are a bit... I get why, but also they're a bit much, and not all of them make as much sense as you would want them to. I mean, this is also on me, my reaction. For some reason I was thinking Scorpions Winds of Change, and obviously it was going to be anything like that, so... I'm really looking forward to hearing those live, because I do think his voice will sound so much better live than in the studio version. And it's not against the studio version, that's just from what I know, the little I know, he's a great live singer. So that was Wind of Change by Vlad Sheryf. It's not quite my usual speed of song. It's a perfectly fine, not quite, but almost power ballad. I prefer a full-on power ballad, but it was pretty good. He knows how to sing, and that is very important, especially for a song like this, but in general for the contests that we're dealing with. Being able to sing well and showing off just your vocal abilities and the range of your vocals without over-singing at the same time, very important. He does a good job at that. As I said, the lyrics were definitely emotional. And I do think that at times, like, as much as I don't think it fully makes sense, the Rip Off My Scars part at the opening was very emotionally evoking. And that kind of evocative lyricism is also always very nice to see. I do not... If we're going to theorize here for a moment, will this win? I mean, I haven't heard the other songs yet, but this does not feel like the kind of song Ukraine would send to Eurovision. Then again, if he, insofar that it is possible, if he brings some good staging, you never know. I can see this getting some really cool staging and really being just a moment, really opening the show with, relatively speaking, just a big emotional moment. Taking the difficult second spot in the running order is Abiye with Dim, which means home, if my translation is correct, and my pronunciation presumably not. Abiye is the stage name of Natalia Shevchenko, with the stage name coming from an old Ukrainian word meaning suddenly. She has performed a lot for Ukrainian troops defending her country, and her song is inspired by, according to the YouTube description once again, the stories that Abiye heard in the liberated territories. So I am expecting something quite emotional and very impactful. Let's get into it. I love this opening already. I know that we've come to really expect these mixtures of modern pop sensibilities with folk instrumentations and more folk musical stylings from Ukraine, but with good reason. It slaps. Almost every time, it's just a banging choice to go for. Okay, I do think the beat work is a little basic, but her voice and just how rhythmic she, while also being melodic, she uses her voice, does really keep me engaged. This is just a good song. And I would love a bit more highs and lows. It feels a bit flat from an energy level, but it's a good energy level to be on, so I don't mind too much. The folkier parts of the instrumentation are really the highlights of the song for me. They're just so good. Bit of an understated ending. Not in a bad way, just understated. So yes, that was Dim by Abiye. I really like that. But it's a folk electro-poppy dancey thing. I was always going to vibe with this, as I think are going to be many other people. I can't say too much about the lyrics. I don't understand Ukrainian whatsoever, and I will admit that I prefer to listen to these songs just at face value first, and then dig into it later when I have the opportunity to really just think about them. So in these first reactions, I'm obviously not going to do that. That being said, this is the kind of song where you can feel just immediately that the music is at such quite like it you want to move, you want to dance along or at least move along, do something while the music is playing, but you can tell that there's some kind of emotional depth that definitely just present within the song, which I always appreciate. Like whether it's a contrast or just extra depth and context, it does enrich your song when there's just more going on, and that is definitely something that this song succeeds in. So, she has that difficult second spot, but let's see where she finishes. But long before we know where Abiye and Dim or any of these other songs are going to finish, we will have to listen to the third song completing the Vidbir this year, which is My Sea by Molodi, a pop duo that started as a street band in Mariupol. My Sea is a song about longing for the Sea of Azov, which they grew up next to. Without further delay, let's get into it. This song is going to go somewhere. I quite like the singer's voice already. There's a certain, just also the rest of the musical production, a certain vulnerability on top of despite presenting in a strong way in a way, which obviously fits sort of the theme from what I'm gathering from the English part of the lyrics. I quite like the switch up into Ukrainian for the chorus. Yeah, there's like an alt pop rocky vibe. Oh, some gospel element. There's quite a bit going on in a good way. Like it definitely wants to keep you engaged and does so successfully. This English, I would call it the pre-chorus, I think. Yeah, this English part is surprisingly catchy. I did not expect to almost want to sing along with it already. There's also something very cinematic about this song. It feels big. Okay, this musical bridge, I do like it, but I will need some good staging for it. Like, it will need to be a moment. So, that was My Sea by Molodi. I quite like that. I actually really like that. Very cinematic. Love the mix of English and Ukrainian lyrics. I will say it will need some good staging because you have the music only bridge, which is always a dangerous thing to do. And I was expecting a bit more drama at the end, or just something. The song feels so big throughout, and in the middle of the song they throw in some extra elements there which are really fun and I do really enjoy. But relatively speaking, the end feels stripped back, even though it really still is doing quite a lot. So it doesn't. I'm not quite feeling a climax in the song the way I would want to, but it's still very good. Next up on our list are Future Culture. Hopefully, not to waste our time with their song called "Waste My Time." This Kyiv-based musical group mixes a variety of genres to create a distinctive sound, apparently. So let's just immediately get into this and see what they bring to the table. Okay, it's sort of opening felt a bit like a gentle housey take on lounge jazz, but not in the deep house sense. This is an old beast in a good way. I'm fascinated, but I don't really know what to do with this song so far. Like, this is a song and a group with personality aplenty. You will not mistake them for anyone else. Yeah, the chorus is fine. Their voices sound nice together. I do like the slight funkiness and just the general groove to the music. Okay, coming through synthesizer solo. It does feel a bit all disconnected from each other. Like, except for the parts where there's generally like two people singing together at the same time, all the vocal parts feel just disconnected from each other, and a lot of the music feels disconnected from itself even. But that is part of its appeal because I'm fully paying attention to it. I want to figure this song out. I'm not sure if there's anything to figure out. I sure as hell won't be figuring it out myself, especially not today, but I sure am trying. What a fascinating song. So that was a waste of my time by Future Culture. It definitely wasn't a waste of time, but I just don't know what to make of it. On the one hand, it's quite obvious what like well, quite obvious what it is. It isn't the right way. Like, as the YouTube description says, it's a mix of genres. The YouTube description mentions neo soul, R&B, hip hop, and other styles like funk as well. And you can definitely feel those elements in there together. There's definitely like a heavy dose of R&B, but there's some like that which also overlaps with some of those genres anyway. But you have parts of this, parts of that, and at times it's a perfect mix on the song, and at other times it all feels just so disconnected from each other. The voices sound nice, and at times they really work when they're singing together, two people at the same time. It sounds great, but when it's just one person singing, it feels sort of disconnected from the rest of the song. This is a fascinating little thing. Um, I know some people might see this negatively, but I do genuinely mean it positively when I say this has big, overpriced coffee bar soundtrack, like playlist vibes. Like, this is the kind of song that you hear on the playlist of like a coffee place where an espresso costs way too much. As I said, I'm just really trying to figure this song out. I'm not sure what I'm trying to figure out about it. I'm not sure if there is anything to figure out about it. It's just a sweet little love song in a way, but I just I feel there's something more to it. A part of me wants to dig deep and just unravel this entire song. Which again, what is there to unravel? Who knows? I sure as hell don't. Not and won't for a long, long time. So, how about we leave that as it is, keep it in the back of our mind, mull it over, as we move on to the next song, because after this song, we're going to be halfway through. Up next is Masha Kondratenko, who has No Time to Cry. Masha is a singer, songwriter, and actress who became famous through her role in TV series The School, but her music career goes back to well before that. She reached the final of Ukraine's version of The Voice Kids in 2012, and would also reach the final of Ukraine's regular version of The Voice in 2020. Her song Vanka Vstanka from 2022 became a major hit on social media and Ukrainian radio. Now, her Vidbir entry No Time to Cry is described as being about the abnormal normality of today, which could be anything. So let's see what that abnormal normality of today is like, shall we? Clicking talk at the start, classic. Some lovely vocals to begin with. There's something about Masha's voice and some of the singers where it's like a rich vocal but still feels like brittle and ethereal in a way, which is really interesting. We are once again marrying English and Ukrainian. Okay, this is getting a bit. I'm getting some dark pop vibes. Oh, there's a lot going on right now in this production. Okay. The electronic production feels like building on some more like folky instrumentation, even though it's fully electronic. I love this vibrating into music that makes it feel like her voice is also just pulsating quickly. I'm not entirely sure about the English lyrics of this song. Like the English lyrics, but I'm enthralled. I'm fully on board with this one, to be clear. Love the pulling back, throwing in that clock ticking sound from the beginning again. Yeah, this part, just the Ukrainian part, I really love that. The production on it is so cool. Her voice sounds so good on that. I'm not sure how this part will sound live for a TV contest, but I know live in a concert venue, this would go so hard. So that was No Time to Cry by Masha. I really like that. The production, especially on the parts where she sings in Ukrainian, is just gorgeous. I wouldn't want to say it's fully unique. Like, it definitely builds on some familiar concepts, but it sounds just great. And the way her voice mixes with the production is genuinely fascinating. Really pulls me in. I must say, maybe I wouldn't be entirely opposed to more Ukrainian and less English in Vidbir, because some of the lyrical choices this year so far have been interesting. Not bad per se, I'm just trying to... It's very Eurovision English. Which can also be positive about the contest, don't get me wrong. And I do really appreciate what these singers are bringing to the table, and that they're trying to reach that international audience that they all deserve. All these artists definitely deserve to be on a bigger stage, even than they're already going to get with Vidbir. Yeah, No Time to Cry was good. I had a good time with that. The Ukrainian part is really sticking with me. I hope this gets some good staging. If this has some like nice, impactful staging, this can be such a strong moment, and it's also in a pretty decent place then to capitalize on that from the running order. So we shall see where this song goes. Up next is song number 6, which is courtesy of Khayat, who is returning to Vidbir. He will be hoping his song Honor has what it takes to improve on the second place from Vidbir 2020 and win that hotly contested Eurovision ticket. He released some excellent new music early in 2024. See the music roundup on our website for more on that. So let's see how he builds on all that experience he's made since Vidbir 2020. Okay, an interesting start. Very dark and moody. Some vocal distortion definitely happening, maybe just by layered vocals. Yes. Make this song sound big. Oh. Okay. This song is not going to be for me. This beat is... It's not a good beat, Your Honor. I love, like, the thing is, these verses are so promising, and I was really hoping that this song would capitalize on even half of that promise. But instead we're getting this. Like, this part is so good. Like, this, you feel the song building and building. You start to shiver with anticipation, as some might say. And on this, please tell me Khayat is not doing a dance break to this part. Oh, this song has a dance break, doesn't it? Okay, also not to be annoying, but if you sing slow down the tempo, your song needs to actually slow down. This song is hitting all my pet peeves, isn't it? So that was Honor by Khayat, and... well, that song isn't for me. That song very much isn't for me. I love the verses. So much promise in the verses. I love also, even like, after that, where it starts to build up a little, you feel the promise. It really builds some anticipation, really gets you engaged. I do think that just the beat in the musical chorus just lets down the entire song. It doesn't feel all that memorable, doesn't feel all that engaging to me. in the end, the song just manages to be disappointing, which is a shame because I do think there was a lot of promise here, and Khayat is a very talented artist, and he's had some gorgeous songs, also mixing different styles and really bring some like big cinematic energy and drama, which I do think this song is trying to go for, and it's just not working for me. It just really isn't working for me, and that's such a shame. But there we are, what you gonna do? Not every song can be a hit, not even by good artists. Let's continue with the song that many of us will have already heard well before these songs were announced, which is Kultura by Fiїnka. Kultura won the wildcard by a healthy margin, getting more votes than the second and third place songs put together. So clearly it's a bit of a popular favourite, and it will be interesting to see how it holds up in televote compared to the other songs in this selection. The song celebrates Fiїnka's Hutsal culture, and while I did listen to this song when it was originally released, and I mostly just remember some chunky beats and awful electronica being combined with there were some folk elements definitely also there. But is my brain correct? It usually isn't. Besides, let's see, as I said, how this song holds up now that it's out of the wild card and into the songs that were initially selected. It's a whole new contest for the song to be in. How does it hold up against the competition? We love a flute. We always love a flute. There's the beat. Yeah, that's a chunky beat. I wouldn't mind if the beat got even more bass heavy for the live performance. Really, if you're standing in the hall or have a good sound system, you feel it vibrating as it's playing. This chorus is not quite working for me. It doesn't stand out enough, but it is. It has a lot of personality, the song. As I said, audible. I must also say, and this might also just be me not understanding the language, so I can't verify this, but the song ends up feeling very repetitive. Like it's just the same minute and a half part repeated twice. It's a good 1.5 minutes, but hearing it twice directly after each other, and then this bridge, just not quite clicking for me. But again, I love that this song does stand out. It's very Fiїnka, and this end part does hit. This is, everybody. If the space and club, everybody's jumping. It really ends on a good high. This song, just this entire ending bit. Yeah, so Fiїnka's Kultura really ends on a high note, which I do love. It really ends on a good, like the ending does really hit. The way we get there, I do end up feeling a bit exhausted by the beat at some point. Like, I love a good chunky beat, and if it was even bass heavy, it would be even better. But it just, at a certain point, it did tire me out a little bit. But, if you just hear this live for the first time, or hear the song for the first time when you tune into Vidbir, or Eurovision, if it would end up going there, for most viewers, I think this would be, it's memorable. There's a lot of personality on display here. I think it will have some pretty good staging that will also build on that personality that's already in the music, and that Fiїnka will just be bringing to the stage. So, I will be looking forward to seeing this being performed. It's just that simple. We continue on with Krylata, who last year was eliminated in the long list phase of the competition. But this award-winning singer now makes it to Vidbir proper with her song Stay True. Krylata is known for frequent appearances at festivals and charity concerts, and recently also for being a finalist in the singing competition Incredible Duets, where a duet with Jerry Heil finished third. So let's see how Krylata wants to stay true and what this song is all about. Literally breathy opener. Let's see where this goes. This could go in a variety of directions. Okay, this now feels it's both in between the more dark poppy sound that you could have expected and the more James Bond theme area that the song also was sort of dabbling with in the beginning. I do like how she speeds up. I wish the music is, or at least the beat, like some proper high BPMs would have been very nice. But She sounds great. Krylata does genuinely sound just really good on this song. Well, I would be jamming out so hard to this song if I listened to it on like, a warm summer evening, sun's already gone down, I'm biking home, something like that. Okay, we take it all the way back down, so please tell me up a proper big ending. There's a lot of emotion in her voice. It'll be interesting to see how that's delivered live, because she's a good singer, but that can always be tricky to perform consistently live. That is the trick for televised music competitions. Come on. Stay True by Krylata. Another song with a lot of promise. I do like a lot of elements about it, but in the end, I just wanted more from this song. I want to sound bigger. I want the beat to get a bit faster. I want to just have a bit more, some bit more impact here. So just more. As it is, it's a pretty solid song. I do think I should not focus on what I would want from the song and instead just focus on the song as it is. And with some nice staging, especially, this can be a very impactful moment on television. And in general, I did really vibe with it. Like, for most of the song, I was having a great time. So I really shouldn't be complaining so much. I think I just want this song to be even better than it already is. Which is to say, it's already pretty damn good. And if Krylata can deliver those vocals live, that will be quite something. That will be quite the moment. But speaking of moments, we have another returning act up next, as Ziferblat present Bird of Prey. And yes, that is Prey with an A, not with an E. Ziferblat are a three-piece group consisting of brothers Daniel and Vlad and Nishinsky, plus drummer Fede Kodakov. They finished second in Vidbir last year, and even won the jury in that edition, so clearly they hope they can do just that one spot better this year. So there's some quite high opening vocals. Okay, some nice guitar work, the drums also sound decent. Very rhythmic. This is doing a lot of interesting different things. I'm being reminded of, like this part in the verses, there's something Franz Ferdinand like in the guitar. These more melodic parts in English. And I'm slightly reminded of like those psychedelic bands that were very big on festivals for a while. So like, your Wolf Mothers, something like that. I wish the guitar was a bit more forward in the mixing here. I do like this, but is it me or does it feel like the song was longer and slightly chopped up? Bird of Prey by Ziferblat has a lot going on, but also not that much. It does genuinely feel like this song was originally like, a 6-7 minute long like sweet style situation. It's been chopped up. Not sure if I would like that extended version. To be clear, it just feels like this is not the entire song. It feels as if there have been parts cut out and just been pushed together to collapse it into 3 minutes. I feel very bad for saying this, but as much as there are elements to this that I like, it's just not a song that I really want to listen to all that much. It ends up feeling like the kind of song that when you're at a music festival or something, or if you hear it on a friend's playlist, you don't skip it, you might even vibe to it, but that's it. It's not the kind of song that you really want to revisit on average, unless you're really into Ziferblat, I think. At least that's how it feels from my perspective. Which is, I don't know. There's a lot of promise actually in Ziferblat as a group, and also in this song they show a lot of good musical instincts. But it just isn't quite there for me. It just all doesn't quite land right. Also those high-pitched vocals, when stuff like that works, it really works. But for me, if they don't quite work, and doesn't mean that the vocals are off or anything. I just mean if it doesn't quite work in the song, for me personally, it can be headache inducing, and this definitely fell more into that headache inducing instead of being impactful part, which is a shame, but it is what it is, isn't it? Let's just quickly move along to the final song of today. Yes, that was number 9. We have number 10, the closer of Vidbir 2025, are DK Enerhetyk. This Ukrainian post-punk band formed in 2022, and they have been very busy. They've managed to release 3 new albums since then, and they won the Muzvar Award for Best New Name in Rock. Now, their song means salt. I'm not even going to hazard to pronounce it. Oh, who am I kidding? Let's have some fun with it. I think you say seal? Tell me in the comments if I'm right or not. It's good for engagement. Anyway, seal or salt is their entry for Vidbir this year. Now, loyal listeners and readers of that Eurovision site know that I have a massive soft spot for post-punk. Apologies. Well, pop-punk as well, but this is post-punk, allegedly. Now, because I love post-punk, I can also be very critical of it. Let's see where this song takes me. Okay, yeah. Nice echoey grooviness. Good start. Okay, we're going for the slightly more spoken word delivery on the verses. Does provide a nice contrast with that very melodic guitar groove that we've got going on. I love the way the guitar sounds in this. Yeah, the verses are not quite working. But the chorus I love. Like, inject this chorus straight into my veins. Let's be clear. Where are we going to go for the bridge? Bring the drums forward a bit. Slightly different guitar line. Oh, okay. I love this ending again is very good. There's some songs with really good endings this Vidbir, and this is one of those. So, Sil by DK Enerhetyk. I love parts of this song. The chorus, great. The outro, amazing. The guitar for most of it, beautiful. I love that sort of like rich, not quite reverby, not quite echoey, but like not quite muffled guitar effect that they're using. That's the kind of guitar that I love in a lot of my music that I listen to in my free time. Yeah, the chorus was great, but the verses, man, the verses, just not good. Like I liked it for one verse, but I thought maybe if we then go to like something a bit more shouty, if we want to go into that direction of the post-punk, or if we go into much more sung melodic area, which is, you know, another area that could have gone into. Either of those choices I would have liked a lot more, but the verses just didn't quite. The song just didn't come fully together. But there are so many parts of this that I did really love, and those are the parts that stick into my mind much more on the song anyway, so that's always good news. Almost all songs have good and bad parts, and as long as the good parts are the parts you remember, it's a net positive. And that is what I'm taking away from this song. But yeah, that is they're an interesting group. I think I need to listen to some more of their catalog to fully form an opinion on them, because this song does not feel like the best first introduction, which, depending on how big their fan base already is, can be good or bad news for Vidbir. So we shall see. So those were all the songs that will be taken to the stage at Vidbir this year. It's quite a mix of different genres, which love, adore, very happy with that. Some songs I like more than others. No clue what's going to do well, because well, it's always difficult to say, especially this year where the artists that I thought had a real shot at performing really well are not standouts for me personally. That being said, at the same time, I wouldn't be unhappy with basically any of these songs going to Eurovision. They're all solid to great songs, and that is always the sign of a good national final. Now, who were your favorites? Let us know in the comments and leave a like on the video as well. Subscribe and click that notification bell to be the first to see our reactions to and discussions about all the national finals. We'll also be doing a discussion video on Vidbir, both before and after the contest, of course. On our YouTube channel, you can also find interviews and a whole lot more things Eurovision. It is looking like a very exciting national final season, so there will be a lot to watch. Now, for all things Eurovision and beyond, with a slice of life, of course, visit our website, thateurovisionsite.com. Getting overwhelmed by all the news? Don't worry, our social media has all the headlines covered, so you can just follow them there first. We are at that Eurosite basically everywhere. Think Blue Sky, Tumblr, Instagram Threads, Facebook, Twitter, you know the law. If you love a podcast, we also got you covered. That Eurovision podcast, you can find it wherever you get your pods for Eurovision discussions, interviews, and more. It has its own socials at that Euro podcast, also wherever you get your social media fix. So, thank you so much for watching, and see y'all soon!